Hey guys, welcome back. This is Josh Egerton of World Alternative Media here for part 2 of our video. The original stream went down. The live streamer says that it was on YouTube's part, so I don't know what else to say to that, but I'm just going to try and get back to where I was. It's going to be really hard to pick up where I left off, but nonetheless, I really appreciate those who were tuned in and those who sent in those super chats and hit that like button. It's a very annoying situation to deal with YouTube in the year 2020 because they do whatever they can to basically shut down streams if you talk about things that they don't like you to talk about. Our friend Dan Dick saw a stream taken down the other day. We had one of our videos just removed by YouTube as inappropriate content because we did a live stream talking about inflation and the effects on people. It's not inappropriate, but it got taken down as inappropriate content, sent in for review and confirmed as inappropriate content. So we have to, work together here to smash this insanity that we're witnessing here. So again, this is part 2. We're going to try to go back to the article I was reading there before everything went down, and we'll go from there. So let me just get this all ready up on the screen here, and hopefully this won't happen again. Anyway, send in those super chats. I really appreciate it, guys. Oh, my God. Anyway, as it says, Kim is social distancing, not wanting to catch coronavirus since the 36-year-old is in a higher risk category on account of his obesity. Some have suggested that the North Korean leader is simply quarantining amid the COVID-19 crisis, despite the fact that North Korea hasn't disclosed any cases. As it continues down here, it says, on Monday, Seoul-based Jung-ang Daily newspaper reported that Kim is in self-quarantine, citing an unidentified source in China. According to the report, one of Kim's bodyguards was confirmed to have contracted the virus, which is why China sent 50 or so medical staff. Of course, this wouldn't prevent Kim from providing proof of life. Kim was injured during military drills, apparently. One rumor circulating is that Kim was injured during military drills in the eastern tourist enclave of Wonsan, where he owns a palatial family compound. According to satellite photos analyzed by 38 North, Kim's armored train, or one which looks a lot like it, was seen parked at the local railway station last week. And as it continues down here, on April 14th, the day before the Day of the Sun celebration in Pyongyang, there's a burst of military activity which included cruise missile tests and fighter jet maneuvers, according to a statement by North Korean defector Ri Jong-ho, who currently lives in the U.S. Bloomberg suggests that this is unlikely and notes that satellite images from April 15th don't show Kim's train. Seeking attention, as it says, as another option for why he's gone missing, it says, last but not least, Bloomberg cites South Korean lawmaker Yoon Sang-hyun, who heads a committee on inter-Korean relations, who suggested that Kim devised his disappearance in order to draw attention to the regime. Yoon speculated that the North Korean leader would have to show up in public in the next couple of weeks to avoid a destabilizing debate about his grip on power and potential successors. And I quote, if he doesn't, it's a real big issue, Yoon told reporters Monday, according to the Dong-A Daily. Kim is apparently not running the country as he would normally do now. In 2014, Kim similarly vanished for 6 weeks, stoking all sorts of rumors ranging from gout to overthrown, after which he was seen walking with a cane. So there are many reasons that he might be missing in action, but one thing is for sure, North Korea is a puppet state of China. As we reported originally, I think it was on the 21st that there's a good chance that Kim Jong-un might be dead or brain dead or in a vegetative state, as there were concerns or there were, some reports coming out. Then Hong Kong satellite television on the 24th, late at night, said that they had confirmed that he was dead. Now Japanese television confirmed that he was brain dead, but then there's still been no official confirmations, and South Korea says he's fine. But why is he gone? Why is he missing? And is his sister going to be taking over? I would love to hear from the audience. I apologize for the previous mishap where the stream just went down. It said it was on YouTube's part, so we'll do what we can here. But send in your super chat, send in those comments, hit that like button if you haven't already, and help share on social media. We're dealing with some rather annoying situations as of recently here at World Alternative Media. But nonetheless, we got some questions coming in. Bogora says North Korea ain't nothing more than a movie set. Yeah, I've often wondered that as a possible just guinea pig state of North Korea or of China's, in order to, even the U.S. possibly CIA or whatever, to study human subservience, because it's an incredible study in human subservience and human nature, and it should be concerning to everyone, considering the recent protocols under the guise of helping the populace. They've enslaved everyone and shoved them into their homes at gunpoint, enforcing social credit and in a way with the ID 2020, facial recognition, enforced vaccines, cashless society, technocracy, military in the streets, and the greatest global depression in history. As China, the power shifts so incredibly towards China at this moment, it is worth considering this possibility. So I'm waiting for some questions to come in. We only have 86 people watching. We had about 400 people watching before our previous stream went down, which is unfortunate because they don't notify people in the first place. So it's hard to build up an audience here on YouTube, generally speaking. But let's see. We got Cold Steel Truth says the globalist cabal occupy that area. Yeah, Mr. B says, top man, Josh, keep doing. We need doers. Well, I appreciate that. If you don't do, what are you doing? Nothing. We got other comments coming in from people like Enley's Freedom says, hope all is well, Josh, from Ian from BC, Canada. Good to see you. And LTC Perosi, Litecoin Perosi says, smash the like. I agree. Hit that like button. This is absolutely brutal to go from like 400 viewers to 89 viewers, and it's just frozen at 89 viewers now. So make sure to hit that like button and share. We are being devastated as a media. We were just wrapping up all the news stories for the day, and we're going to go into Q&A, but it's hard to do a Q&A when there's very few people watching and almost no one sending in questions. So anyway, Grab It Hard says, where's Waldo? Well, that's a great question. Great name. Cold Steel Truth says North Korea is fake. John H23Z says Bukhara and went on with a career with Bic pens. Oh my God. So there's jokes about Anne Frank in the chat. That's great. Norman Liu says, hey, Josh, good evening. Good evening to you as well. David Mancini says Bitcoin or XRP? Absolutely Bitcoin, not XRP. God, never. Just send in your questions, guys. I have no idea what to ask now because we had our whole news segment and then the stream went down. And YouTube basically disconnected with the server and said that YouTube wasn't able to live stream, and there's a problem on YouTube's end. So we're getting attacked from all ends, guys. Make sure to check those links below. Join our new newsletter at www.iamband.com. I really appreciate it. Chester Wolf the Griffin sent $5 in the super chat. And I sent a funny cartoon character with it. I appreciate it, as always. Chester, always good to see you. I really appreciate it. I think you sent something in the previous chat. I couldn't see because the stream went down, and it just hid all the super chats. I think I got two while I was live there, including Norwegian kroners. So I apologize for the stream going down, but there's literally nothing I could do about it. Grambo says, do you think the government's project known as FedCoin will make the public view turn on the concept of cryptocurrency? No, because they're two different things. I mean, possibly if you don't understand cryptocurrency, that might, shift the public's view. But FedCoin is a centralized fiat digital currency that has no basis in privacy and is about tracking everyone's transactions and taxing people to death so that they cannot break free from that system. They cannot buy crypto. They cannot do any of that. Everything's tracked. It's a much different thing. It's same with Canada. They announced their central bank cryptocurrency, quote unquote. But what it turned out to be was it wasn't a central bank cryptocurrency. It was a central bank digital currency. And in its own blueprint said it was in order to combat and attack and destroy things like Bitcoin. So the idea is that you have fiat, which is enforced by force, by fiat, by law, and then you have things like Bitcoin, and then you have things like Monero. They're all very different from each other. They're not the same. Being digital doesn't make something have the same footprint. They're very different situations. BC Matrix says, we back. Yeah, been back for about 10 minutes. I know it takes a while to notify people here, and by the way, that was on YouTube. YouTube said they took down, they didn't take down, they said that the stream went down because of a disconnection on YouTube's part. So that was YouTube just shutting down our stream. Hopefully we can get past the 10-minute mark. We're at 9 minutes and 55 seconds into this stream. Hopefully we can make that 10-minute mark. Honestly, I just never know what to do anymore because they just shut down our stream. So I'm forced, like in many cases, to depend on the great work of Tim Picciott of the Liberty Advisor to keep our streams up and running usually. And I do have a show tomorrow with David Morgan, who I'm really looking forward to talking to about silver, gold, crypto, all those things, and the global, depression. So make sure to tune in at 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. It will be right around that time. We will be going live with David Morgan. I really hope you guys tune in. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys that interview. David Morgan's brilliant, and he has had some of the top interviews here at WHAM in the past. We're also in the next week interviewing Cynthia McKinney again. We're going to be interviewing J. Edward Griffin, Ron Paul. We got a whole host of great interviews coming up in the next two or so weeks here at World Alternative Media. So do not miss those. Make sure to tune in for all of those. And hopefully the stream will stay up while we're talking to these people. It's so frustrating, guys. Anyway, let's see. Alyssa McKay says, if people aren't starting seeds and getting some reliable, consistent food sources now, they're going to be sorry in a few short weeks. Sorry, the chat scrolled up there. In a few short weeks, you don't need a lot of land to raise laying hens and grow food. I know. Well, I mean, and the thing is, they've tried to stop people from being independent in those ways and growing their own. In many cases, people are punished for growing food on their lawns instead of grass, which is so productive, and then punished and even imprisoned in some cases for collecting rainwater. I mean, this is the kind of world we live in, and if we don't ask who benefits, then we aren't asking the right questions, because that does lead to the state. The state always benefits from more dependence of the populace, more control over the populace, utilizing the populace as pawns to sacrifice for the king and the queen. That will always be the case. So if we don't ask these questions, we don't get the right answers. Let's see. Holy Cruncher says, any ideas about moving crypto out of the country legally? I cannot give you any advice on that, and I could get in a lot of trouble if I did, even talking about it illegally. So you'd have to consult online and look into that. I can't give you any information on that. I apologize for that. Gary K says, people, if you can please consider to donate any amount to help Josh Wham. He really needs the help. Gary K, thank you so much. I always appreciate your support. And hitting that like button helps a lot too. We got up to 139 people watching again after losing the 400 that were watching live when YouTube decided to shut down our stream a moment ago. Let me know what the title of my video says right now, because I reset it and it keeps showing as the old title, which it should say part 2 or something in the title, but I don't know. They changed it on me. Cold Steel Truth says, boom. Emilio Max says, what happened to your hair? This is humidity. It's an issue. I put stuff in my hair, and then the heat. If you don't know, I'm in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and it's like, seriously, if we're talking Fahrenheit, it's like 95. It's just so insanely hot. And if we're talking Celsius, yeah, it's like 35, somewhere around there. I don't know. I'm not exact on that, but it's insanely hot all the time. And I have air conditioning on, and you'd think that it wasn't on, because I'm just sweating all the time. My hair is getting all weird and everything. That's what happens in Mexico. Let's see. We got Shinobi Wan says, check out my chickens. I live in a city and I'm raising chicks. Well, that's cool. A lot of people are just dodging the stupid laws of dependency and doing what they need to do in order to survive. And that's the kind of humanity I like to see in these times. Let's see. We got Sean Warren says, wise awesome man, any new news on the reshot structure and other sites of potential knowledge that this event is overshadowing? Yeah, so there's new evidence out of Göbekli Tepe that I can bring you, which is, of course, an ancient site, considered one of the most old in the world. I still have a documentary coming up on Göbekli Tepe, but this whole thing made it really difficult to get that work done. But anyway, it's Israeli archaeologists found a hidden pattern at world's oldest temple, Göbekli Tepe, and there's an interesting ancient pattern they're finding at the site, which is rewriting the reasoning behind the structure. And also, if you haven't seen my documentary on Karahan Tepe, which was an even bigger site than Göbekli Tepe, which might be even older in some cases, that I went to and documented on the ground in the middle of nowhere in Turkey last year. Definitely check out that video. You'll have to type in Karahan Tepe, Karahan Tepe, and then put in World Alternative Media, because even though it's the biggest video in the world on the subject, it's impossible to find any of our videos even if you type in the exact titles, and sometimes even after you put World Alternative Media after it. Like my documentary on the reshot structure in the middle of Mauritania, Africa, which I risked my life doing and went through minefields and everything to get there. I put out that documentary, and it got 90,000 views after it's been 8 or 9 months. And it's crazy because it's just really frustrating, because if you type in the title of the movie, Atlantis in the Desert, you get a bunch of videos that have 30 views on it and don't see mine at all. You have to type in World Alternative Media, and sometimes it still doesn't show up, completely hidden from searches. I'm so shadow banned, it's ridiculous. So yeah, you need to work extra hard to find my videos these days on YouTube. It's very difficult. But I do have more stuff coming up on the reshot and all that. I plan to go back hopefully soon. I did a show with Netflix, National Geographic, and Disney Plus, which I'm not super happy about, but hey, it was a good way to bring people to us. On the structure called Atlas of Legendary Things. It's a Netflix show that'll be coming out in the fall, so I hope you guys check me out on there. Had to go to Hollywood, I think in February, to do that. Shinobi Wan says his hair, haha, yes, funny times. His hair crashed the stream. Yeah, that's it. Oh man, it's I'm getting so frustrated with YouTube though. It's just like an attack, an insult to not just myself but all of you, and I don't get offended, but it feels almost offensive the way they treat all of us. They treat us like a bunch of peasants, and people should be more mad about it. Mickey says it says part 2. Okay, good. I'm glad that at least the title's showing properly this time. Anyway, so yeah, hit that like button if you haven't already. Check those links below, and any super chats, all those things help very much right now. We went through our story on the supply chain. We went through our story on the Chinese national blockchain. And we went through all these issues regarding Kim Jong-un and his disappearance. It's very strange to consider that Kim Jong-un would disappear and not just say something if he was still alive. But who knows? There's no confirmations yet. It's all very strange. It's a very strange situation, so no one can really really say one way or another. But yeah, it's a difficult situation to break down. There's literally no sources outside of Hong Kong satellite television, and then all these conflicting sources from Japan to South Korea to China. It just doesn't make any sense right now. And the train story, and possibly he's hiding out from coronavirus and all that kind of stuff. Very, very weird. Let's see. Emilio Max says, where the crust of the sun becomes hard and gets ejected in huge explosions, creating falls of precious metals on the planet surrounding the sun. That's I don't know what the question is there. But let's see. We got a few other people commenting here. Gary K says, smash the like. I agree. Absolutely. Thank you. Holy Cruncher says, what do you think about the possibility that humans were introduced into Earth, that we are an ancient species? Well, I think very much so that could be the case. I wouldn't consider it alien. I would consider it more the splicing of intelligent beings of some kind of consciousness or something. We've done videos on this before, and there are some interesting correlations between ancient civilizations, their symbolism, and their story, and how that relates to the possibility that people are connected to other beings that they weren't even another thing that's interesting is from the Denisovans to the Neanderthals were far smarter than people realized until recently. But yeah, I could go into that a bit more deeper, but that entails like a large scale video to really get a good grasp on that particular question. And I have done videos on that before. I had a crazy illness that I'm not going to name right now, early on in the year. And I was in a haze of strange thoughts and dreams and all sorts of stuff, and ended up doing a video on the idea of consciousness and frequency, and everyone called me crazy. But everyone calls me crazy about everything, and then it somehow ends up coming true every single time. So I don't even know what to say to that right now. It's just I end up being vindicated more than I'd like to. I'll put it that way. Okay, so if you haven't hit that like button, make sure to hit that. Cold Steel Truth says, "Don't take the Pizza Gates vaccine." The Pizza Gate. Oh, wow, that's an interesting comment there. That was pretty smooth move. Rika, the hopeful volunteer, says, "Hey there, Josh. Hey, Rika, how's it going? Glad to see you. We had a stream going on previous to this. I was breaking down all the news stories. Then I was going to go into a Q&A, but then YouTube decided that they were just going to shut down the stream. And currently, I can't seem to find the original stream on the channel. It appears that they might, just maybe, have deleted the stream. So I hope that's not the case, but it's starting to look like that. So, wish us the best in actually getting back our original stream. Oh, it looks like it did go up. Okay. I see it on the channel now. Anyway, it's a very frustrating situation to deal with when you're trying to work and trying to spread the news and trying to bring people stories. And then you have YouTube just deciding, nope, I think not, and just deleting the shows. So it also dramatically hurts the algorithm that's already completely destructive here on YouTube. It makes it almost impossible for us to reach people with the videos after they're published. So, yeah, I find it to be an insult to all of us. Anyway, I'm not promoting Dash here. I just have a Dash shirt. Don't get excited, guys. Anyway, Thoth Amon says, having delusions is pretty crazy, right? Belief in things that aren't real. I don't know what you consider things that aren't real, but your name is Thoth. Let's see. Liza Jean Williams says, appreciate the internet while it's still available. Yeah, well, they won't be able to large-scale take down the internet worldwide. We had Colin Cantrell, who's an absolute genius, the son of the one of the co-founders of SpaceX, alongside Elon Musk. We had Colin Cantrell on, and he's an anarchist and has an amazing view of the world and is extremely analytical and was breaking down the idea of the internet being completely deleted. And that's not going to be something that's going to happen anytime soon, even with full-scale EMP attacks or EMF attacks or any of that. The internet still, that's going to hit one part of internet infrastructure. There's still going to be far more, especially in Faraday cages and preserved. So I'm not too concerned about the entirety of the internet disappearing anytime soon, though it is interesting, the idea of the government restricting internet access across the board, and that's something that very well could happen in the next while. But look how people deal with that in places like North Korea and China. They, in many cases, risk their life to get the internet up and running again and utilize it to spread certain messages, what people might call propaganda, but others might call just heroic, spread of information in countries that are much more restrictive than ours, wherever you might be in the world. Thoth Amon says, all laws is just words on paper. Nations, governments, religions, it's all beliefs. Well, governments are a type of religion. And certainly laws are nonsense. They're just words on paper. They're magical ink, and they're enforced by people with magical badges that think they have more power than you because some guy said, you have power now. And they're like, okay, now I can beat up people in the streets and steal their money and, pull them over for going a certain speed. But by pulling them over, going the same speed to stop them, which means there's double the trouble. But anyway. Charles Z says, what happened? What happened was that I was on YouTube doing a show, and YouTube decided to just remove the video or just take down the whole video stream. It was on YouTube's part, so this could end at any moment too. I have no idea what's going to happen here, so we can hope for the best. But I really appreciate super chats. I really appreciate people hitting that like button. Anything helps, guys, because honestly, right now, they are just ripping us to shreds. Tomorrow, I am interviewing David Morgan at, he's one of the best silver experts in the world. I'm interviewing David Morgan tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST, and I'm interviewing, and you can tune in live for that. I'm also going to be interviewing people like Cynthia McKinney, Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, and many more in the next short while, as well as Dr. Judy Mikovits, I think her name is. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that to you guys. I'm going to reach out to Sam Tripoli again and Dr. Shiva Ayaduri, who we interviewed previously. And I hope to bring you guys a whole bunch of cool stuff coming up soon. Love High Vibration says, thanks for sharing your light. Love your stuff. I really appreciate the kind words, as always. And this, by the way, is not a real beach behind me. As you can see, that water is quite still. I just happened to get an Airbnb here that's $400 a month, by the way, and I'm living just on that. And it just happens to have a backdrop like this in the living room, so can't really go wrong for videos there. I'm like, well, I could use the white wall or the giant backdrop, so worked out pretty well. Uncle Elf says, try to get an interview with Yoon Maltsev. He is hilarious. All right, I'll look into him. Gary Case has smashed the like. I appreciate it, as always. Anyway, Shinobi Wan says, may a thousand MGTOW blessings be upon ye, Master Josh. Thank you. And yeah, anyway. Gary Case has asked Dr. Shiva about the 5G, please. Yeah, Dan Dix has an interesting video at Press for Truth on that recently. And by the way, it got taken down originally. He got it back up after a while, but yeah, it was... We're dealing with a very strange time for censorship, my friends, and it'll take you guys sharing these kinds of things on social media and pressing like on the videos and going to GoFundMe, Patreon, Subscribestar, those places, and going to our COINTREE account or going to our newsletter, all linked below in the description. Going to those things will help keep us up and running and alive, so I can't thank you all enough. Emilio Max sent €5 in the super chat and says, keep it up. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the super chats that go a long way here. Seriously, that's like a whole dinner here in Mexico, and it keeps me up and running. It's really important, guys, now more than ever. Thothamon says, I think that all magnetic fields have effects on biological life forms. There are old books that are banned in the U.S. about this. Yeah, absolutely. Well, electronic or magnetic fields have a huge effect on individuals, and we are made of frequency and vibrations, so it makes perfect sense to say that. I do have videos on that subject matter that I definitely think people should certainly check out. Makaru112 says, did you see Dr. Shiva Ayaduri on Stefan Molyneux channel? I do not watch Stefan Molyneux, but I know he was on there. But I interviewed him, so make sure to check my interview out with him as well, about 2-3 weeks ago now. Man, my hair really is crazy today. I don't know what's going on here. It's the humidity. But yeah, I'll look into it. I just he has some amazing interviews out there. Dr. Shiva Ayaduri is a powerhouse. Vention MGTOW sent $10 in the super chat and says, if you had a lightning tip method such as tipping me, you get the entire 10. Generous of you to give YouTube such a big slice of your tip. Yeah, I don't want to. It's just the easiest way to raise funds to keep this media alive is through this way, and it's unfortunate, but what I've learned over the years is if you don't make things incredibly easy for people to just do at a few clicks of a button, then people won't do it at all. And so the super chats are, as terrible as YouTube is, a great way to actually get people to contribute in that way. You can also pledge and tip and all that kind of stuff on float.app, flote.app, if you haven't joined there already, and you can do that in crypto, and I believe in Lightning. But I think I have a Lightning tip method on my COINTREE account. I'm not sure, but yeah, anyway, I really appreciate those super chats a lot. Those go a long way, my friends, and I can't tell you how much it really does mean a lot to me. Vention MGTOW says, a link to a Tippin' Me page is easy as can be. All right, well, I'll get a Tippin' Me page going then. Let's see. Nicholas Ryder says, Dan Dix also lost a video yesterday. He hasn't gotten it back. Yeah, no, I've been talking with him. It's unbelievably ridiculous. Captain Kickass says, Josh, what happened? The original stream was just cut by YouTube, and I had to start another one. They just decided to shut me down and lose me 90% of my viewers originally. And now we got back up to 145 people watching now out of 140,000 subscribers. But nonetheless, it is quite frustrating, to say the least. Let's see. We got Makaru112 says, I'll watch David Icke's recent interviews, especially on London Real. Now, if you want to get majorly banned, you could have him on and speak about frequency and so on. I know I've had David Icke on, and I've interviewed him once. I spent some time in a hotel room with him in Mexico once, about a year ago, and just hung out and talked for a couple hours, and it was one of the strangest things I've ever seen, or one of the strangest experiences I ever had. And I talked with him on the phone not that long ago too, actually. But anyway, yeah, when I posted that video, it was the biggest crackdown on this channel ever. We overnight went from an average of 30 to 40,000 views per video down to about 2 or 3,000 views per video. So that tells you all you need to know about how incredibly shadow banned you get for talking to David Icke. There's got to be a reason for that. John P. says, have you seen Revelation of the Pyramids documentary? I think I have. That sounds pretty familiar. Captain Kickass says, F YouTube, Josh. I agree. Join us on float.app. Black Cat says, all stage shutting you down. What crap? Yeah, I know. They're just all incrementally just hoping that no one does anything when we're gone. And they didn't with Alex Jones. The amount of subservience and lack of doing anything, the amount of apathy is really sad, regardless of what you think of Alex Jones. When Alex Jones went down off YouTube, he lost like 90% of his viewers because they just decided not to follow him. They're just like, meh. People just didn't click an extra button and go to a different website to watch him. So that tells you all you need to know. This is why I'm trying so hard to get people on other platforms, because people say a lot about how they hate censorship. People say a lot how awake they are, but they don't do anything about it. And it's really sad. Sometimes all you have to do is go to a different website. That's all. So, oh my God, my hair's gone completely insane today. Anyway, I'm going to get back to you guys with much more. There's news on Joe Biden and his sexual assault allegations and the criminal complaints that have been put forward, and Larry King and all that kind of stuff. And Rika, the hopeful volunteer, says, humans are lazy? You don't say. Well, unfortunately, it's quite a common issue. But Love High Vibration says, what websites? So that would be float.app, flote.app. So that's float.app. We also have other things linked in the COINTREE link that's linked in the description here. There's BitChute, there's Minds. Yeah, we're on most of the alternatives, but we need to get over to these alternatives. Join our newsletter at www.iamband.com. All those things help. It's we're in a crazy world right now, and it's never been more important to spread free information online in these times of complete censorship. And with the importance of what we're witnessing right now, the most Orwellian global crackdown in history, a global depression. By the way, this was mostly a monetary system channel and more of like a money channel for a long time. If we post videos on money today, they get like 2,000 or 3,000 views, despite the fact that we're in a global depression, because our videos are hidden. Our videos used to get like, again, 30 or 40,000 views per video, and people could say, oh, you got boring, or you're not interviewing as many big guests. And it's like, okay, sure, fine, but it happened overnight. And literally, we interviewed David Icke, and our videos went down that percentage. So there's more to it than that. And it's been one of the biggest attacks on us. It's unbelievable. I could interview Richard Gage. All the videos I did with Richard Gage used to get over from 150 to 800,000 views or so. And now I talk to Richard Gage and I get like 2,000 views on the video. It's sad. It's sad. It's really hard to work as hard as I do, 18 hours a day, and then just like them just decide, nope, pull it away from me after years and years of work. But what can you do? You just got to move on to the next and keep working, because I don't do this for money. I do this to spread information. And if I did it for money a long time ago, I would have taken all the offers from mainstream media that were tens of thousands of dollars a year, in some cases $75,000 a year or more, with state-run media, and I turn them down because I have some principles. So, not the greatest things come initially to those that have any sort of principle and want to be able to sleep at night. But anyway, Charles D says, you're on target. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it, as always. Shinobi Wan says, so many events and things has been covered up by this circus. Yeah, this China circus. Yeah, I know. Anyway, Annette says, they sure know how to lie. That's what they do best. Yep. Shinobi One says, you get the most flack when you're over the target zone. Yeah, I know. That's an issue. Definitely seems to be the case, no doubt about it. When you do terrible things, you seem to do really well, and when you do good things and principled things, bad things happen to you. But that's only in the short term. Long term, I think things change in that, in the opposite direction. Good things come to you. Liza Jean Williams says, do you regret interviewing Ike? No, I don't regret interviewing him. I just regret the reaction that YouTube had. I don't regret doing anything in life. It's too much of a waste of time to regret things. The only things that I really kind of regret are the things I didn't do when I had the chance, and those are things that many people bring to their grave, and I just don't want that in my life. So I try to do everything I have the opportunity to do, assuming that I want to do it. Nicholas Ryder says, "Thanks, man. It's people like you that speak truth to this world. F the mainstream media." I agree. I appreciate the kind words, everyone. So this second part, well, it didn't do that well on YouTube. It's got very few views, but nonetheless, it's nice to know that we could go back up on up live and still be able to talk to at least some people here, which I'm glad that YouTube notified at least a couple people. I know some of you probably refreshed the channel to see if I came back, so I appreciate that as well. Hitting that like button helps a lot. Sharing on social media, especially part 1, helps a lot, and hopefully we can conquer this madness that's going on, which is censorship, propaganda, the control of the populace, and the biggest slave racket we've ever seen in history, alongside a global depression and a faked pandemic. Really appreciate everyone joining us today. And anyway, until next time, if we don't have anything else here coming up, anyway, hit that like button. Until next time, sorry, I'm really tired, if you haven't noticed. Tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST for our interview with David Morgan. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.